Hi, this is Ken McCarthy, and we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the System Seminar, the greatest internet marketing seminar that ever was. And if anybody can point me to a better one that had better results and introduced more important concepts about internet marketing, tell me about it. I'd love to see anything that was even half as good. I will say that Jonathan Meisel's Internet Marketing Summits of the 1990s were incredible. But he didn't have the advantage of some of the things that we had, which was pay-per-click advertising that we were able to work with as one of our main tools. But other than that, I don't care whether you paid $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, mortgaged your house, gave away your firstborn, you never got a better training than we offered in the System Seminar. Unfortunately, we don't do them anymore. But I do have a System Club, which is graduates of the System Seminar, where we continue to do stuff. And if you're wondering why there's so little innovation in the net marketing world, it's because I'm not in it the way I used to be, and everything I do is behind closed doors, so only my students know what's going on. Anyway, here's a chapter from the System Club Letters book. This is a series of letters I wrote to my System Club members. And I put it together, or I had it put together into a book called The System Club Letters, 57 Big Ideas to Transform Your Business and Your Life. And that's the goal of this book. It's not to teach you a bunch of things that you can learn from 100 different books. It's to transform things for you, to 10x them, to change your life, to change your destiny. And that's what we did and continue to do for individuals and for businesses and even for whole industries. So that's always been our focus, and we're still doing it. So here's a chapter: Surveys, Misleading, Even Dangerous. Quote, I don't have any focus groups on talent and programming. If I need 5 guys in a mall to be paid $40 to tell me how to do my job, I shouldn't have my job. Roger Ailes, CEO of Fox News. Like him or loathe him, no one can dispute that Roger Ailes created a major hit. And unlike his more timid competitors, he did it without surveys or focus groups. Veteran Bob Bly, our System Club guest last August, wrote an article that was published in a recent issue of the Direct Mail News with the provocative headline, Are customer surveys a waste of time? Question mark. And a little sidebar, yeah. And you know that because you see the number of idiot big companies that are so concerned with surveying you and your satisfaction. They're not willing to give you decent service. They're not willing to answer customer questions when you have money in hand and want to buy from them. But after you've bought from them, then they want you to fill out a 20-page survey so that it goes into a database that no one ever looks at. So yeah, a lot of stupidity out there. Anyway, Bob's answer, he's more diplomatic than me, is they're not a total waste of time, but they're highly overrated. And they're not without risk. So not only are customer surveys dumb when handled poorly, they can actually be at risk. How to tank a business. Bob cites an article that appeared in the August issue of Business Week to back up his position. Apparently, The Gap, once one of the savviest clothing retailers in America, has lost its way. Sales are down 4%. This is written a long time ago, but the principle remains. Sales are down 4% the last quarter and are projected to drop another 2% in the current quarter. For a company like The Gap with its ferocious fixed overhead, this adds up to very serious numbers and an alarming trend. So if I'm down 2%, I'm not happy about it. It's not going to change my life. A company this size that starts to go into decline on sales, they may not survive. So what went wrong? Well, in 2002, the company made a huge investment in focus groups, surveys, and other market research. By the way, in 2002, 20 years ago, was when I started the System Seminar. Now, if The Gap had sent its employees to the System Seminar instead of this elaborate focus group surveys and market research program they did, they might have saved hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe made hundreds of millions of dollars too. So you would think that all this investment they made in focus group surveys and market research was going to bear fruit and result in better sales. Not necessarily, especially when marketers depend on survey results to tell them what to do. The consensus of 8 Gap employees and 2 retail industry analysts. The Gap, quote, has shifted too far towards research and away from the instinct and emotion favored by many successful clothing merchants. Emphasis mine. Innovations don't come from survey results. Talking and listening to your customers always makes a lot of sense. And to the extent that surveys help you do that, they're worthwhile. But to try to create a product or ad copy based on survey results is madness. The motion picture industry is notorious for trying to survey their way to hit movies, and they fail over and over again. Hit movies invariably come, quote, out of nowhere, unquote, and are produced by people with vision and passion. As a marketer, you need to know your market, but you also need to lead your market. The fact of life is that your prospects don't sit around thinking in detailed ways about what would make a real difference in the marketplace. That's your job. Survey children on what they'd like to eat for dinner, and they'll tell you cotton candy and ice cream. Survey cavemen on what would improve human life, and they would have told you bigger clubs. Consumers didn't ask for the telephone, the automobile, the electric light bulb, or the internet. These leaps came from people who cultivated vision. Marketing gurus in corporate America, in the direct marketing industry, and in the internet world would like to have you believe that creating hit products can be reduced to buying their surveying devices and services or software programs. Baloney. I can't think of a single blockbuster hit in any market that was ever created with survey results as the raw material. All right, so am I saying don't at all use surveys? No. But the idiocy of running a survey and then saying, oh, this is what the survey said, this is what we're going to do, wrong. Wrong. Waste of time, waste of energy. You're not going to get a good result from that. And you could actually, if you're like the Gap, you could actually end up shooting yourself in the foot, which is what the Gap did. So I know there are people out there that sell surveying software and they're really big on you using it, and they have all the reasons in the world why it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm not against it. In fact, I would always survey people after the system seminar. I'd ask them, what did you like? What was the biggest thing that stood out? What didn't you like? I want to know. I want to know. You know, how would you describe your experience to somebody else? See, none of these things were me fishing for what I should do next. These were for me fishing for what my customers were getting out of the experience. And that showed me what to add to. It showed me what to take away. And occasionally it gave me the beginning of a glimmer of new things that I could do. But I very, very rarely surveyed the marketplace. I didn't survey any marketplace to do the original system seminar. I knew my market, and you've got to know your market. I looked at what was working. I looked at what was not working. And then I created a product that got rid of the things that didn't work and added a whole bunch of things that did work. And I've just given you a $1 million formula. And I know that 999 people out of 1,000 won't ever use it. But it sometimes can be that simple to make a dramatic impact on a marketplace. See you next time.